All right, welcome back, UPSC Warriors. You already know what we're about.
Conquering those mains and prelims.
You got it.
Yeah.
And today we're diving deep into, I think, a topic that's almost guaranteed
Oh, yeah.
to make an appearance on your exam.
For sure.
Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb.
This guy.
This guy.
Always surrounded by
Controversy and debate.
Exactly.
So our mission today is to kind of unpack
Yeah.
the complexities surrounding Aurangzeb, analyze those varied perspectives, arm you with the context.
Context is key.
You need to tackle those tricky UPSC questions.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you find this deep dive helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop your queries in the comments.
Love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're using a recent News 18 article. It's titled, Aurangzeb Controversy, Maharashtra Assembly Debates History and Legacy.
Ooh, that sounds juicy.
Yes, it is, to guide our discussion.
I love it.
So you're right, this isn't just about rote memorization. Aurangzeb is a figure who evokes such strong reactions even today, centuries later.
Centuries later, I know.
I know, and he's often painted in these extremes.
Yeah.
Villain, hero.
Of course.
And I think understanding that complexity,
That's what it's all
those
about.
most contrasting narratives, is key for acing those analytical questions.
Absolutely, especially in that mains exam.
Especially in the mains exam.
Yes.
So let's jump right in
Let's do it.
to the thick of it.
Okay.
The News 18 article highlights a recent controversy in the Maharashtra Assembly,
Ooh, interesting.
which really brings those contrasting views to the forefront.
I see.
Samajwadi Party, MLA Abu Azmi, he sparked quite a firestorm
Uh-oh.
when he praised Aurangzeb, calling him a good administrator, and even using the phrase
Okay.
Sone Kichidia,
Wow.
the golden bird, to describe India under his rule.
So he was a fan.
He seemed to be a fan.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the timing of this statement, right?
Oh, okay.
This is all happening amidst the controversy surrounding the film Aichava,
Okay.
which depicts Sambhaji Maharaj, the son of Shivaji,
Right.
and his resistance against Aurangzeb.
Gotcha.
So you can imagine how Azmi's praise for Aurangzeb landed.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to go over well.
In that context, it didn't.
Yeah.
It became fuel for this much larger debate,
Oh, I bet.
highlighting how interpretations of historical figures
Yeah.
are often intertwined with
Oh, we can.
contemporary political agendas.
Always. It's never a clean.
It's never clean.
No.
And that's something you, as UPSC aspirants, need to be very aware of.
Super aware.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, we have Azmi praising Aurangzeb.
Right.
Others are vehemently opposing him.
Yeah, classic class.
Classic clash of perspectives. It seems like everyone has a strong opinion about Aurangzeb.
Of course.
And these differing views are rooted in historical interpretations
They always are.
that we need to unpack.
Let's unpack them.
For instance, Jawaharlal Nehru, in his book Discovery of India,
Okay.
paints a very different picture
Oh, I'm sure.
of Aurangzeb
I'm sure he does.
than what Azmi presented.
Right.
Nehru doesn't mince words.
Okay.
He labels Aurangzeb a bigot
Wow.
and a Puritan, holding him responsible for the destruction of temples, the imposition of the jizya,
Jizya. Okay.
a tax levied on non-Muslims,
Right.
and antagonizing various groups like the Rajputs, the Sikhs, the Marathas.
So he was not making friends.
No, he was not.
Okay.
So we've got Azmi presenting Aurangzeb as this successful administrator
Okay.
who oversaw a prosperous India.
Got it.
And we've got Nehru condemning him as this intolerant ruler.
Yeah.
How do we even begin to reconcile
Right.
these drastically different viewpoints?
It's tricky. Yeah.
This is where it gets really tricky for someone prepping for the UPSC.
It does. This is where it gets, really interesting. And this is what the UPSC examiners are looking for.
Exactly.
They want to see this nuanced analysis.
Yeah.
It's not about picking a side or memorizing a single narrative.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the historical basis for these contrasting viewpoints and being able to critically evaluate the evidence.
So let's roll up our sleeves and delve into some of Aurangzeb's policies and actions.
Let's do it.
Let's see what the historical evidence actually tells us
Okay.
and how it aligns with or contradicts these different portrayals.
Right.
One of the most controversial aspects of Aurangzeb's reign is his religious policy.
Okay.
He was a devout Muslim who enforced Sharia law,
Right.
and he reimposed the jizya tax,
Yeah.
which had been abolished by Akbar.
Interesting.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Aurangzeb's personal piety
Right.
and his policies regarding Islamic law have been the subject of much debate.
Of course. Yeah.
Did he impose a strict fundamentalist interpretation of Islam,
Okay.
as some suggest, or were his actions more nuanced
Right.
and driven by political considerations?
It's always more complicated than it seems.
It's always more complicated.
On the surface.
This is the kind of critical analysis that can elevate your UPSC answers.
Absolutely. Looking at all sides of the story.
And let's not forget the accusations that he banned music, dancing, and painting in his court.
Oh, wow.
Was this a complete ban on all forms of art and culture? Or were there specific types of patronage or public displays
Right.
that he was targeting?
I see.
This is something that often comes up in UPSC discussions.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And understanding the nuances here can make a big difference.
Huge difference.
You've hit on a really important point.
Okay.
It's crucial to separate personal beliefs from political actions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just because Aurangzeb may have had a certain personal preference for austere practices doesn't necessarily translate into a blanket ban across the empire.
Exactly.
We need to consider the broader context and look for evidence of how these policies were actually implemented.
Yeah. How did it play out in reality?
All right, so let's tackle one of the most serious accusations leveled against Aurangzeb, the claim that he forced conversions and destroyed Hindu temples.
Wow. Yeah.
This is a loaded topic,
Oh, for sure.
often used to fuel political agendas.
Definitely.
But as UPSC aspirants, we need to approach it with a critical and
Yeah.
objective lens.
Right.
What does the historical evidence actually tell us?
Yeah. Let's dig in.
Were these actions widespread and systematic, or were they driven by specific political contexts?
Good question.
This is where you need to flex those analytical muscles.
Oh, yeah.
Did Aurangzeb destroy temples as part of a deliberate campaign against Hinduism, or were these actions motivated by other factors, such as political rivalries, rebellions, or even resource acquisition?
Lots of possibility.
Lots of possibilities.
Yeah.
It's crucial to consider the specific historical context surrounding each incident
Absolutely.
and avoid sweeping generalization.
Yeah. We don't want to oversimplify.
We don't want to oversimplify
Yeah,
history.
right.
History is messy.
It's messy.
It's complicated.
Yeah. It's a crucial detail.
Yeah.
And it just highlights the danger of accepting those simplistic narratives
Right.
at face value.
We've at face value.
Yeah, the historical record is rare.
Black and white.
Black and white.
Always shades of gray.
Always.
And it's our job as students of history
Right.
to uncover those nuances.
It's all about the nuance.
Absolutely. And speaking of nuances, let's shift gears a bit and talk about Aurangzeb's military campaigns.
Okay. Yeah.
He was known for his ambitious expansionist policies, constantly pushing the boundaries of the Mughal Empire.
Right?
But were those gains sustainable in the long run?
That's the question.
I mean, what were the consequences of those constant military campaigns, both for the empire's finances
Oh, yeah.
and for the stability of its diverse population?
Really good questions.
Yeah.
These are the kind of questions UPSC examiners love to throw your way.
Yeah.
Remember, history is not just a series of isolated events.
Right.
It's a complex web of interconnected factors.
Oh, absolutely.
Aurangzeb's military campaigns, while they did expand the empire's territory,
Yeah.
they also strained its resources.
Right.
His successors were indeed weaker, unable to maintain that vast empire that he built.
Right.
But can we solely blame Aurangzeb for the decline of the Mughal Empire?
Right. Is it that simple?
What about other factors like internal conflicts, economic challenges, and the rising power of regional forces like the Marathas?
Yeah, it's like trying to solve this historical puzzle.
Exactly.
Piecing together these fragmented narratives,
Yeah.
those conflicting interpretations
Yeah.
to form this, like, coherent picture.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's easy to get lost in the details, but we have to zoom out
We do.
and look at the bigger picture,
The big picture.
especially when we're prepping for the UPSC.
Yes. Very important.
You're spot on.
Thank you.
Understanding these connections, these broader historical trends, is crucial for crafting strong arguments
Yes.
and demonstrating a deep understanding of the subject matter,
It shows you've done your research.
which is exactly what you need to excel in the mains exam.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to the big question.
Okay.
Aurangzeb's legacy,
Okay.
his long reign spanning almost 5 decades, undoubtedly left this indelible mark
Did.
on Indian history.
For sure.
But was it a legacy of destruction and intolerance, as some claim, or a more nuanced mix of achievements and failures?
Yeah, good question.
This is where we need to move beyond those simple labels
Right. We're past that.
and delve into the specifics of his rule.
Okay.
Did his policies on religion and culture have unintended consequences?
Right.
Did his military expansion ultimately weaken the empire?
It's complicated.
These are the types of questions UPSC examiners want you to grapple with.
Absolutely. They want to see you thinking for yourself.
They want to see you can analyze those historical events critically and develop your own informed opinions.
Yes, exactly.
It's almost like we're detectives.
I like that analogy.
Sifting through clues, separating fact from fiction, trying to understand the man behind the myth.
The man behind the myth.
Exactly.
So true.
For instance, the claim that Aurangzeb systematically destroyed Hindu temples to convert Hindus to Islam
Right.
needs to be examined against historical records.
Yes. We need evidence.
Were there specific political contexts behind any temple destructions?
Okay.
Were there instances where he offered protection to Hindu temples?
Interesting.
These are the kinds of details that can help you build a more nuanced understanding of his reign.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about passing exams.
No, it's not.
It's about understanding the complexities of our past and drawing lessons for the present.
So important.
It's about recognizing that history is not a static monument,
Right.
but a living conversation,
I love that.
a dialogue that continues to shape our understanding of the world around us.
I agree.
Absolutely. And speaking of dialogue, let's shift our focus to Aurangzeb's final years,
Oh.
a period often overshadowed by the grand narratives of his reign.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up in the conquests and the controversies.
Of course.
But there's something really fascinating about examining the end of a life,
Yes.
especially one as eventful as Aurangzeb's.
Absolute.
It humanizes a figure
Yeah.
who is often portrayed in these larger-than-life terms.
Yes. They become almost mythical.
What's fascinating here is this contrast between the vast empire Aurangzeb had built
Right.
and the solitude he experienced in his final days.
Interesting.
Imagine being the ruler of this vast empire, yet feeling this sense of loneliness
Right.
and isolation.
Powerful, but alone.
It's a stark contrast to the image of the all-powerful emperor we often see
Yeah.
in these historical accounts.
Yeah.
This glimpse into his final days reminds us that behind the titles
Yeah.
and the conquests,
Mm-hmm.
there was a human being
A human being, yes.
experiencing pain, loss,
It's easy to forget that.
and perhaps even regret. In 1705, at the age of 86, Aurangzeb found himself exhausted after this long military campaign,
Okay.
and he decided to return to Delhi,
Mm-hmm.
the heart of his empire.
Right.
But during the journey, he fell gravely ill.
Oh, wow.
He spent his last year in Ahmednagar
Okay.
battling illness
Yeah.
and surrounded by loss.
Ah.
His son Akbar had died in Persia. His daughter and sister had also passed away, leaving him with only his spinster daughter
Wow.
and his last wife for company.
So even the mighty emperor
Wasn't immune
to the frailties.
to the frailties of age and illness.
happens to us all.
It happens to us all. It's a reminder that no matter how powerful we become,
Yeah.
we're all subject to those same human
It
vulnerabilities.
was very humbling.
And on February 21st, 1707,
Okay.
Aurangzeb died.
Yeah.
His vast empire unable to shield him from the inevitable embrace of death.
That's powerful.
That's almost poetic, isn't it?
It is.
A ruler who spent his life expanding his empire, ultimately succumbing to the limitations of his own mortality. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does. All that power, all those conquests. And in the end, we're all just human.
Yeah, we are.
But even in death, Aurangzeb's story continues to spark debate and intrigue.
He's a fascinating figure.
He's a figure who just defies easy categorization, constantly challenging us to re-examine, our assumptions about the past.
And that's why he's so crucial to understand, especially for those of you gearing up for those UPSC exams.
Absolutely.
Remember, this isn't about blindly memorizing facts
No.
or accepting a single narrative as the absolute truth.
Right.
It's about developing a nuanced understanding of his reign, his motivations, his policies, and his impact on Indian history.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Aurangzeb,
Yeah,
let's bring it back to you, our listeners.
absolutely.
We've explored different perspectives, analyzed historical evidence. We tried to unpack the complexities of his reign.
Yeah.
Now we want to hear from you.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this controversial emperor?
Yeah. What interpretations resonated with you the most and why?
What aspects of his reign did you find most intriguing or perhaps most perplexing?
Yeah.
Share your insights, your questions, your perspectives in the comments below.
Let's keep this conversation going.
Let's keep this conversation going.
And learn from each other's insights.
Absolutely. And remember, there's no single right answer when it comes to interpreting history.
Nope.
It's about engaging in a thoughtful and informed analysis of the past.
Exactly.
And hopefully this deep dive has equipped you with the tools to do just that.
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah, keep asking those questions. Keep seeking out different perspectives.
Right.
And most importantly, keep challenging your own assumptions.
Right.
That's the beauty of history.
It is.
It's a journey of constant discovery and reinterpretation.
And hey, if you found this deep dive helpful in your UPSC journey, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into fascinating historical figures and events, and definitely leave your questions and comments below. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep questioning.
We'll see you next time.